Most of the lung cancers at present moment, despite the screening, are diagnosed at stage 3 and 4. If you detect it early, that number 5-year survival goes to more than 60%. We call it opportunistic screening.
Yeah.
Lung cancer is far ahead in the game on making a difference in somebody's life. And if you get to build something which makes palpable difference into somebody's life, it's a jackpot.
This whole detection is only useful if it creates actual outcomes at the end of it. I think the value that AI brings in is that prototype that you could build and test for yourself and find that value. This is the future of healthcare and clinical healthcare, right?
If you don't know AI, then you will be replaced for sure with a person who knows AI.
Dr. Gupta, welcome to Early Science. Let's start with asking about how you got into radiology in the first place.
And I think in 4th year rotation, we go to radiology. I saw ultrasound machine. That was my first introduction to radiology.
So how did you get into AI then? I mean,
Yeah.
did you hear about Jeffrey Hinton saying in 2016 that AI will replace radiologists in 5 years?
I think in 2019, in end of 2019 and 2020, I got my first algorithm from a vendor, which was just based on X-ray, and the clearance was just for detection. So that's how the journey started. I think the journey initially was very much like you learn the hard way kind of a lessons. And I tell you, like the first year I spent in understanding how to make this AI palatable to radiologists. Because I think getting AI into the system is first part, but making people use it is a totally different science, and people now realize it more than ever. So I needed AI in 2022 when I became chief of the section to have a second set of eyes truly, because of the volume of the lung cancer screening examinations was huge. And myself included, our team was scared like we will miss a cancer and something is going to slip through the cracks. So it's still working and it's deployed in a way that nobody has stone pelted me yet. Most of the lung cancers at present moment, despite the screening, are diagnosed at stage 3 and 4. And when the lung cancer becomes advanced, it goes outside the chest at the time of diagnosis. The chances of survival are 9%, give or take, which is single-digit survival.
Yeah.
So the thing is, everyone gets X-ray once in a lifetime. You can imagine X-ray is so common. You're getting ankle surgery, you still get X-ray for fitness. You're getting any pelvic surgery, still get X-ray, whether it's normal. And those are the real places where we struggle, because we see a normal X-ray, our eyes just glitter like a radiologist. Not that we don't pay attention. You feel that, you assume that that person is normal. And that's where that ED and outpatient X-rays are red.
Yes.
It's very hard to find one nodule hidden behind the rib or something, even if you're a seasoned cardiothoracic radiologist. So it's not that radiologists are not good at detection.
Yeah.
It's the sheer number of X-rays combined with that subtleness of that nodule. Even CT is a big challenge to find the nodule. That's why we have algorithm for that on X-ray.
I mean, that if you're able to diagnose it better, it can radically change people's lives, right? Yeah.
And that's where if you detect it early, that number 5-year survival goes to more than 60%. Our study is going on.
Could you share some of the numbers from the study?
But we did a retrospective analysis. So we have a departmental folder where we keep all the X-rays, where the lung nodule was barely visible or near invisible on the X-ray, but it was diagnosed with the chest CT with the biopsy lung cancer. So we took out 100 or so X-rays out of that pack randomly and subjected those X-rays, which were read normal, to Qure.ai app. And we found like conservatively 1/3 of them AI was able to pick up. And you can imagine that if AI was present maybe 3-4 years back, that database is 5-6 years old as well. We could have made a palpable difference to the patient life by detecting on the X-ray, because that triggers the next set of events, a CT and follow-up and so forth. So
Yeah.
I think that delay of patient care or delay of diagnosis increases the stage of the cancer, which is inversely related to patient survival. So I think finding a nodule on the chest X-ray is such a big reward both for radiologist and the patient.
Yeah.
So that's why this opportunistic screening is so precious, as you mentioned.
So the question then, you also alluded to it, right? That what happens after you detect, right? Because again, on a X-ray, detecting a nodule may not lead to a follow-up. may not lead to a CT, right? So there is a need to push and make something happen. So would love to hear how sort of that change management is also hard, right?
And I think there is a guidelines say that you get a CT scan for screening. There's no place for X-ray in the guidelines right now. So to convince somebody that, oh, this guideline will make a palpable change or something, or X-ray detection has some value to it.
Yeah.
So in our hospital, we have a lung health team, thoracic surgery, pulmonology, pathology, all are part of that, and navigation team. Yes, my seniors were savvy enough to start that program at that level.
Yeah. I mean, unless that nodule leads to an actual detection, it's not.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's not
Like an
viable.
action in the end.
Many things in the sequence which all need to come together.
Yeah,
for the
and
patient.
scheduling with pulmonologist, surgeon, EBUS or biopsies, ultimate surgery, and then follow-up. But again, if you detect early, it may be a very simple surgery or relatively simple surgery which can get you cure. I think cure is the real aim. The cure is the ultimate aim for any oncologist, like or a thoracic surgeon, when you can resect a tumor completely. That is a cure. Everything else is palliation. And palliation does not end up that well. And that's what the numbers suggest.
I mean, there is already monitoring of a radiologist quality assurance, right? Wouldn't AI plus the radiologist be monitored in a very similar manner?
Yeah, kind of like that's what we do. We do discordance analysis. We look at the accuracy based on the radiology ground truth. But I think the real monitoring calls for somebody establishing the ground truth, taking the data every year. That's what the recommendation is. Once every year you take the data and nobody has time to annotate anything. Like it's the annotation just for the sake of monitoring is kind of counterproductive to our goal. We are radiologists, we are paid to dictate cases, patient help in the clinical care.
Yeah.
But definitely that kind of tools give us a partial insight into how AI can help, but how the management happens, where the patient went, then you went into EMR, biopsy, and other things. So you need a complete solution which kind of gets us the information that we are looking at. Like what is the cost benefit to the nation, to the patient? What is the health benefit to the patient starting from beginning to end now?
Yeah.
We did the radiology exercises and we found out, like, and that's how we judge the first pass of any algorithm. Does it help? Like it's a PE detection algorithm. Are there any cases where I feel like, okay, oh wow, it saved me? That's one part of it, covering the risk. The second part is, okay, now cognitive burden on my radiologist is decreasing, which is very hard to palpate and to quantify as well. And finally, definitely how it is helping our PERT team, PE response team.
Yeah. No, I think yeah, multiple things you mentioned, right? One is that you mentioned prioritization is important. Second is that this whole detection is only useful if it creates actual outcomes at the end of it, right? Now, the other part to detection is also the argument that it helps you save time, right? And is that an argument that you think is a viable argument for radiology?
I'm kind of a devil's advocate here. I'm the biggest critique of that efficiency thing because the real struggle starts is even if I can read more scans, does my brain has anything left at 3 p.m.? So for example, rather than 8 to 5, I read say 30, 40, 50, whatever is your number. If AI helps me read it by 3 p.m., will I be able to read more? Because I'm judged by that productivity and there's a human component to that as well. Like if you make me faster, I'll start teaching more residents in between. So that real efficiency component looks very good on the paper, but ultimately it has to reduce the cognitive burden again so that the person is in a state to read more because AI is working on algorithm, but humans are not.
Yeah, it also has to reflect in the bottom line of the hospital system, right?
Exactly, because ROI,
yeah,
that's what I'm saying. So what you alluded to or you touched upon is ROI is not only numbers, efficiency. ROI can be judged with like how much risk averse the institution is, like how much risk you control. Like if you are missing a cancers, it's a big kind of a legal obligation as well. And definitely patient care comes first to us. But ultimately, I think there are different ways you can justify the ROI. Time we have to show some real benefit to the patient, as well as in addition to monetary benefits, because it's very difficult to justify the cost of AI. It's a very expensive tool to have, and many people don't have yardstick, unfortunately, to decide that right now. I think it's a team effort. And I'm thankful I'm collaborating with you. Your team of engineers was always available with our IT. We're still working with our IT as we speak. to get that access to the Q track to our navigator teams. And again, like people like me who have very little, no engineering background, no computer science background, are building stuff. And we have a community of vibe coders in our own department, radiology.
You are the best example of that.
So I built a very simplistic tool, which is still undergoing review by our architectural team. Now I'm learning the hard way, the steps involved in that, and that increases my respect for my partnerships as well. But just to tell you that I started doing coding maybe a year and a half back, Python coding. I was excited because that was the language for AI. I was moving very slow. Then AI came with a nitro boost or something, and then nobody's writing code now, even the seasoned people, but you should know your code, what you're doing, Python libraries you are doing, how you're doing version control of your own things, because a vibe coder can wake up with everything destroyed the next morning. We all have suffered that fate. But even if you go through those things, not to discourage vibe coding, it's amazing. It keeps you young. It keeps you right in the game.
And this is, a very big sort of assumption about AI that it's going to replace coders. But the reality is it's not. It's like, to write production code is still pretty hard, like you saw, right? Vibe coding is not the same as production coding.
And then real questions which I admire from our cybersecurity team, IT team, architectural review, they said, how you are going to support it, how you're going to scale it. What if it breaks and you retire or something? Where's the sustainability component? If people become addicted to this tool, you're doing more harm than good to the system. And I'm grappling with these questions as we sit here, and all those questions are valid. So now I'm talking to developers in the hospital who are the real brains behind developing things. And there's IP involved. And this thing is so small, there's no IP really from my side. But again, to have something pass through governance, cybersecurity, scalability, continued support. And that's where we are kind of thinking about, like, with anything that you develop, you can have few things, small things, tools which can make your life easier on day-to-day basis.
But I think the value that AI brings in is that prototype that you could build and test for yourself and find that value. If you had imagined it 3-4 years back, you would not have the capacity to build it or somebody else to build it for you, right? And unless you sort of test it out, you cannot discard it or accept it, right? So now you can basically prototype faster.
There needs to be a caution that if you don't know what you built, if you don't know what is controlling your computer, and you have a sensitive data on that, maybe it's your personal financial data, maybe it's patient data, you are putting somebody into danger. Either it's yourself or patients or something. And that's where that education piece, that focus is very important, even in the world of vibe coding, where you can build prototypes and show it to others, and then choose one battle and take it to the finish line.
Yeah, makes sense. Absolutely.
You need AI for some things, so that's the decision you have to make, that you are reinventing the wheel or complicating something. We cannot wait for next evolution to happen. We live in present, we plan for future, and definitely the things I'm doing will be outdated.
Yeah.
But that does not stop us living the present and adding value to patient care together.
No, I think the most important learning skill is the ability to adapt and learn from new technologies, be able to use new technologies. Right?
If you don't know AI, then you will be replaced for sure with a person who knows AI, right? So, and again, it's a party going on, AI party, and everyone should join the party rather than getting scared of it, because closing your eyes will not make it disappear.
Looking forward to working together to actually improve patient outcomes, especially in lung cancer.
The Q track.
Potentially beyond.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gupta. I think, I don't think there will be another radiologist who has this much technical knowledge, the ability to code like you do and build these tools for actual patient outcomes. So it was great chatting with you.
No, likewise,
Thank you so
Prashant.
much.